Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. Today we're going to do how do you see your connection, how do they see your connection, and what's the truth. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm guided to do. I don't think I've ever done one of these before, but that's what Spirit says, so that's what we're going to do. You, them, and what is the actual truth of your connection. So let's start from you, so you know that this is really your collective. How do you see and feel about your connection with person on your mind? How do you feel about this connection? What? Face down. Just a couple more for your first row. Alright. We have passion. One more. I don't like this card. All right. Let's see what do we have. Okay, your first two cards, it's separation and addiction, codependency, obsession, right? So you would be in separation from your person, which means that you're not in actual full-on relationship. You would be separated from each other. I'm hearing also in and out, so we'll dive deeper into what's actually going on. But you're either separated or you are a bit of an in and out with this person, so you're not seeing each other regularly. There's no consistency, there's no actual tangible relationship. With that codependency, possession, control, that being your first card, and we're doing how do you feel about this connection, you would feel that there is an element of codependency, because many times when relationships are codependent and there is a bit of obsession and codependency, people don't actually acknowledge it. So it's a very important detail for this collective. You would know, you would realize that you are actually codependent from this person, that you are obsessing, especially that there is no consistency, right? And we have this passion, so it will be very passionate, insane chemistry, sparks, a burning desire. So there's definitely a lot of chemistry in this connection. The one that I didn't like, and I don't like it, is a groupie. So what I'm feeling with this one is that I'm not hearing this as an actual fact, especially that we're doing what do you think, right? So I think, and I'm hearing that you would feel that your person is a popular person, that it's kind of a person that has many options, that many women are interested in dating your person and seeing your person. Maybe it's something that you even notice as you go out, as you spend time together, that your person sort of draws attention of other women, or like maybe I was literally seeing the situation where you're somewhere and you are with your person and the waitress just like flirts with your person despite the fact that you're together. With just a side note, if a woman does this, send love, really, because it's very low. It's neither classy nor divine. It's attention seeking kind of a behavior. A true healed, mature, divine feminine who has self-respect and self-value would never engage in any kind of a flirtatious sort of a behavior with another man, actually seeing that he is with another woman. Even if it seems like maybe you're a friend or whatever, it's just very low. The side note, maybe you needed to hear that. And we also have clarity, true, sword, and rose. Let's do another row to confirm. And I also want to do your emotions. How do you actually feel? And then we're going to do the same cards for your person. Addiction. Not today. Boundaries, not dealing, still upset. So I think you would feel with that not today on top of that addiction is that it's just not working. You would feel it's not, you would feel at this point that there's passion, there's chemistry, but there's something that it's like right now, as things are, you don't see this connection coming into fruition. We have seduction, and that's on top of our separation. So with that passion as well, this collective, you would have a very fiery connection. So maybe every time your person comes in, comes back, returns, there's always element of passion, not being able to resist, maybe there's a lot of, this flirtatious sort of energy between the two of you. Maybe that's also one of the reasons that you think that this person is just that way, that this is the way they are, but it's not necessarily true. I'm not saying that it's not the case. Again, we're going to tap into how your person feels about your connection. But sometimes when we are there's a reason it's coming to my mind, so really think about this. Sometimes when we're really wounded, sometimes when we really lack self-esteem and we are connecting to someone, and every time we're with them, we feel inferior. So we feel, I cannot believe this man is with me, or this woman, right? It can work both ways. I cannot believe that this person, wants to be with me. They see them on a pedestal, which is very, given for those kind of connections. Sometimes we think that, if they say those things to me, or they're flirtatious with me, it's because that's just how they are. It's their second nature. But it's not necessarily the case. Sometimes we meet someone, and it's funny, it's also coming to my mind that sometimes women who are wounded, who are hurt, right, who are seeking love, sometimes they meet men and they sort of I don't know how to explain this to you so you understand me correctly. Sometimes they lower their standards. So you would never, for example, sleep with a man within like first days, weeks, or whatever. And it's oftentimes oh my god, I don't know how to speak today. Maybe you're tongue-tied with this person. Like, you normally have high standards, you normally, respect yourself, but then you meet this person, your divine counterpart, right? This connection that feels so destined, and you're like, I cannot. And this reason it's coming to my mind, especially there's a lot of passion and seduction. And then this other person may think, again, there's a reason I'm thinking this. So maybe you're thinking that they flirtatious with you. It means that they flirtatious with all women. Maybe they think that you did certain things with them. It's because that's just who you are. And it's not true. It's assumptions. Again, you guys, it's assumptions. Sometimes we meet someone that really feels so different, and that person opens us up for certain things that we just weakened, right? You know what I mean? Obviously, it's because we're wounded, because when we're truly healed, it doesn't matter who this other person is. It doesn't matter the love, the connection. We keep our standards on a firm level. We have broke ass. I'm feeling this is not your energy per se. This is what you would think about this person. So maybe your perception of them is that they struggle with money. Maybe you feel like this is one of their, points of insecurity. Interested in you, flirting, wanting to date. That's with this teddy bear. Let me do one more. And we have clock. with that clock, I was going back to what we said about this not today, remember? So overall, this collective, the person you're connected to, you would feel that there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of chemistry, not just passion and chemistry, but this very flirtatious energy, this very playful energy, right? So maybe you constantly, when you are together, maybe you're constantly laughing, you're saying nice things to each other, you really make each other feel like there's just spark, there's passion, there's desire, that you're not just interested in each other's bodies, I'm hearing, but it's like you have good time together, right? And you would feel this from this person. You would feel like they want to be with you, they want to date you, the passion part and the flirtatious part, it's sort of a mutual. But because there's this in and out energy, we have this clock, I feel like you are now realizing that there are certain things that it's just not going to be a normal relationship. It's just not going to kickstart and be a normal connection, because there's lack of consistency, there's this in and out energy. Maybe you're also consciously starting to realize that there are points of insecurities that you're not liking. Maybe this person actually, has a very flirtatious sort of a nature, and it's something that is triggering and awakening your insecurities within you. And with that broke ass, I feel this collective, you may be feeling that that's the reason maybe why this person doesn't want to date. Maybe they even said to you that they currently, struggling with money, that they have to time or the money to constantly be going out and be dating. So that would be a detail. That would definitely be a detail. I want to do some emotions on top of that to see how you feel right now, and then we're gonna dive deeper. We're gonna do tarot. Whoop, whoop. We have rejection. So that's confirmation. So this person, I feel like you would know this because of this groupie, right? Because of this codependency, you would feel that this person, despite the fact that you're very attracted to them, that they activating this rejection trauma, that you're feeling very insecure. I feel this collective, it is a collective, so I'm a little bit, I'm going like in and out. Some of you may really be very conscious of it, that it's a you problem. It's always a you problem in this kind of, right? So if someone lacks consistency, if we're secure, we understand that this is not about us and we move away. When we're insecure, we move into that relationship and we try to prove that choose me, right? Choose me, I'm better than these women, I'm a great option, right? So it's something that comes from rejection trauma, abandonment trauma, insecurity. So, but I feel like most of you would know this because you have that codependency as your first card. So you are starting, and we have that clarity and truth as well. So maybe you're starting right now to realize that you are with this person and you're so enticed by them and you have great time and it feels so light, so nonchalant, so passionate, so amazing. But in the same time, the mere thought of them being around another woman, it's like they activate, I'm hearing as well, jealousy. Maybe not just that rejection, but jealousy as well. Let's do a few more. Peace. I want to do 2 more. I feel this is more how you feel with them. That's why you would be a little bit confused. We have trust. I want 1 more. And we have growth. I feel there is something within you, right? Sometimes we do feel those conflicting feelings, and sometimes we don't really understand how we feel when we're wounded, when we're triggered by another person, by different situations. Life is not black and white, right? Life is not black and white. And maybe that's also, I feel like this person is helping you to realize how complex human nature is, how complex our psyche is, how certain things we really need a trigger and a sharp mirror to pull out of ourselves. So there's a part of you that feels very insecure. I feel like subconsciously, maybe you feel that this person, again, when we're wounded, we tend to compare these things. Maybe you feel, I'm hearing out of my league, right? I hate this expression. I think it's something that shouldn't be. What the hell does it mean? What the hell does it even mean? It's not. It only proves, when someone uses these expressions, it only proves that you don't believe in true soul connections, that you treat this like another person, like a product, right? Like it's something that you cannot afford. What does it even mean, out of my league? It shows lack of self-value, but that's what I was hearing. So I feel like you may be sometimes thinking that this person is more attractive than you are, or I'm hearing also that maybe this person be very open with this flirtatious. Maybe they're not afraid to like talk to people, talk to strangers. One of those people that like enter a place and suddenly they're friends with everybody, right? So maybe you do feel a little insecure, maybe a little bit more introverted, maybe you do have points of low self-esteem. So it's activating that within you. And you guys, first of all, yes, it's always a you issue. But you cannot ever be in a relationship where you have to feel the equality with your partner. And it doesn't matter if it's about the looks, about the intellect, about the overall who you are as a person. Because if you're going to feel underneath someone, not only you're going to be feeling the codependency and you're going to be turning into that ultimate people pleaser, but you constantly going to be feeding your jealousy. And oftentimes there are people, they can be very attractive, very smart, very magnetic, but they can be the most loyal person on the face of a planet, and you're creating projections within your head because it's a you thing, it's a you problem, right? So there's a reason it's coming to my mind. But on the other hand, I feel like you feel very comfortable with this person, that there's a sense of peace when you're together. It's like you vibrate on the same frequency, and you would have trust that despite the fact that you have these thoughts, like maybe it's the right person but not the right time, it doesn't seem like it could work right now, you would have trust. You would have like this intuitive, I'm hearing, feeling that maybe in future it will have a time and place to actually happen. And with that growth, to be honest, I'm not necessarily feeling just yet like this personal growth, right? I feel like this would be relatively, I don't think like you've known this person for more than a year. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. But I feel like you feel that when you are with this person, it's not necessarily the growth that I'm hearing, but it's like they open you to certain things, to certain experiences, to certain, maybe it's because you feel like on some level you're very similar, so you vibe on similar frequency, but there's certain things that maybe you always feel intimidated to do, or you're not that good at, and they sort of take that good thing out of you. Do you know what I mean? All right, let's dive deeper into how you feel. What do you think this connection is? Let's do some tarot. How do you feel about this connection? The feminine. What do we have? We have the Tower. We have the Tower, and we have the Ten of Cups. You guys, I feel this collective, you're very conflicted. It's like on one hand, you feel at peace. You feel this is it. You feel this person is like no one else, no other, right? It's like you have this trust that may be, right? But on the other hand, it's like they really... they have the capacity to trigger you. They have the capacity to make you feel so insecure, to make you feel like right now, I don't see how this could happen. Wheel of Fortune and Six of Cups. I've known you from before. This is not the first time we crossed paths. That's what I'm hearing. You would feel this is a very destined connection. You would feel this is a very destined connection. You would feel perhaps even it's you know, the sensation that everyone knows how it feels. Like I've known you from before. When we're actually awakened, when we're actually spiritual, we realize that means because we have known you from before, from another life. But be careful. I'm not saying that this is the case, but it may happen with other people. This is a common point of confusion, because your worst karmic, you're gonna know them from another life, okay? Because you've been on this rodeo many times, because you cannot close the loop. You cannot reach closure, forgiveness, and lessons learned kind of a moment. So our harsh karmics in the beginning, we known them. We've known them from before. I don't feel this is the case. It's just a side note, so you realize, you guys, for other connections as well. But I feel like you have this intuitive feeling that this is your happy ever after, that this is your person, that this is the person that you could build with, that you could create future with, that this is destined connection, that you feel like at home with this person. But they also turned your world around, I'm hearing, in all the possible ways. I feel like it's also because you're finding yourself doing things. There's a reason I've mentioned to you what I mentioned to you before. So maybe this collective, you're quite, I'm hearing conservative for whatever reason. So maybe you're someone that you haven't really done a lot of dating in this lifetime. You haven't really connected to many men. You're not the most impulsive person. But with this person, it's like you would know what I mean. The right collective, you would know what I mean. You would know what I mean. The Hierophant, that's it. That's it. I feel like you, this collective, we have Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I feel you would be quite traditional, quite conservative. That conservative comes to my mind. So Maybe I'm I don't know why I just heard Catholic school. It may be just a detail for some of you. There's so many, conservative. It doesn't necessarily come from a religion. It can come from culture. It can come specifically from your family. But I feel this collective, again, you wouldn't be a very, very impulsive kind of a person. So you probably, again, I don't feel like you're one of those people that when you are young, maybe you're still young, but in like younger days, that you would do a lot of boyfriends and datings, like those girls that are so, that they always have someone out there around, right? And dating and doing crazy stuff, partying constantly, with boys, and constantly in love. I don't feel this is you, this collective. I feel like I'm hearing close heart, but not in a sense close heart that you don't want to love, because I feel like you would be romantic, you would love, right? I feel like more that you really have respect for love, that you want a real love, right? And I think that this is something that is so different with your person. So maybe normally you would be very shy. It would take you some time to get to know someone, to agree for a date, and then it would take a long time for you to become more open for, like intimacy. And with this person, woof. Yeah. Yeah. Ten of Cups. Santa Muerte. I'm hearing, what I'm hearing as well? I'm hearing that there would be quite of a temperance. There's a reason I'm hearing that. We have 666. Maybe that has a meaning. 66, 6 of the 6th. I was hearing that I don't really feel that this is going to be a detail. I feel this is something very important. We're going to confirm. But I feel this collective, you would have a bit of a societal issue with this person. So maybe you are from a quite conservative family, quite religious family, whatever that religion would be, right? Or you come from a culture where it's not really normal to like date around, right? It's like you date to marry, which is actually how we're supposed to be doing this, okay? Not marry in the sense of signing papers, but divine union. If you watch me, I'm a preacher for divine union. I'm a preacher for truth, divine order. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be effing around, right? We're supposed to respect each other, respect love, respect union, divine union, really we're constantly seeking for shallow validations outside of ourselves, which is just nonsense. Because I was hearing with this Santa Muerte that this person, they would have quite of a different background than you do. It's like they're making you see things differently. They're making you feel things differently. I feel that they're very much more open for the world, that they come from maybe either a cultural household that's much more open, loose. I wanted to say I was hearing. That's what I was hearing. But this collective, I feel you really, you would struggle with self-esteem, because I feel like these things that are not, the codependency card also stands out to me. Whatever doesn't feel right between the two of you, I feel like you automatically go and point finger towards yourself. And granted, I always say this to you guys, when we are on a healing journey, we have to point finger towards ourselves, right? But we have to do it in a balanced and reasonable way. It's not like you hold the blame for everything. You have to see yourself in a situation. How do I react? But it's not about the blame. And I feel for this collective now, it's more about, it's me. If he's not responding, I must have said something. If he's ignoring me for 2 weeks and then he's returning, I must have done something. Maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not interesting enough, maybe I'm not pretty enough, right? It's like you're blaming yourself. But you would really feel that this is a very destined connection. This is something that came along to heal your heart. You would just feel suited with this person. And I feel, to be honest, for now, I feel like you may not be noticing certain red flags, because I feel this collective, you feel this is very much reciprocated. So you would probably blame the differences between the two of you, your backgrounds or cultures, or you would blame yourself that maybe you want too much, or that maybe you want things too fast or too soon. But I feel like right now you feel that it goes both ways. You would feel that this relationship is reciprocated. So even if this person disappears, I feel like they're giving you excuses. So maybe it's related to their work, to their job, that they have to work a lot, that they have, this person is a hustler, they really have to work a lot, they don't have a lot of free time. Maybe sometimes you even think that they're not inviting you to places because they don't have money. They don't have money to spend to invite you to, and you don't want to maybe you are very traditional. Maybe you feel this person is also traditional. But again, true divine feminine masculine flow, it is the masculine that should be the provider. And I don't care what anyone says. It's what true men, just in his divinity, in his divine masculine, wants to do. Wants to invite you. If someone, especially in the beginning, if they invite you for a first date and they want to split what? Split what, sir? Nah, it ain't happening. And it's not about the money. It's not about the money. And it's such a topic that triggers people, right? It's especially non-divine masculine distorted men. It's not about the money. It's not about the fact that we're equal in value, right? It's about masculine and feminine energy. True man wants to show that he's a provider, right? This is my universal truth and my teachings. So if you don't have the money, it's not about the money. Invite me for an ice cream and a walk around the park. I don't care. But you choose the park and you buy me that ice cream, right? Or invite me for lemonade. It doesn't have to be a 3-star Michelin restaurant. To be honest, there's many women that are not that kind of to me, park and an ice cream would have been such a better date than these fancy stock up sort of places, right? It's so much more loose, so much more romantic, so much more just beautiful, right? But it's not about that. It's not about the actual amount of money. It's about the masculine energy, right? So maybe you also believe that. And because of that, you don't want to offer, but it's you're actually believing that maybe this person is not speaking to me. I don't feel like this collective, you're seeing red flags, or you're seeing, let's see. There's a reason we're doing how do you feel, how do they feel. So let's go. Let's see how do they feel before we actually tap into the truth. Let's see how do they feel. How this masculine feels about this connection. Aww. You guys, I always say this to you. Our beautiful masculines, they have locked hearts because they carry their trauma around their hearts. Our masculines love like no other. They can fake it, they can pretend, they can wear a mask, they can play all cool and bravado. True divine masculine, they love like no other. Oh. I love. One more. Cupid's arrow at the bottom of the deck. All right, his first 2 cards, it's Paradise and Blowing Kiss. And you guys, and my candle just went crazy, and I have a pink candle today for love. The moment I saw these cards, my heart skipped a beat, and you can feel that my voice is breaking. however cool this person feels.